Well, it's time for my impressions for today, and I want to bring up the panel interview with Brad Maring from Munching Mongoose. And I want to touch on something that was said quite innocuously, but I think it's very important for entrepreneurs out there, particularly the ones that are working in the commodity space. So let's just describe what a commodity is. A commodity really is something where there is a known value of that good or service. So let's say, for example, gold. There's a price for gold, and whether you buy gold from this person or that person, there is a known value of what gold is per ounce, and you pay that. Diamonds is another, rice is another, and so on and so forth. And many, many items that entrepreneurs get into are actually commodities. So I want to just talk to those entrepreneurs that are in commodities who battle to actually differentiate some small ideas to enable you to differentiate your product or service, and as a result are able to maybe make more margin. And you know, if you watch this show, how important margin is. The first is to build a brand around your commodity, to ensure that people trust your commodity, and we do that through a brand that is consistent and always delivers according to a promise. So we might take rice as an example, a rice brand that ends in ik, TAS. That brand is a well-known brand, and it's probably no different to any other type of rice, but we buy that brand, and we know that we'll get consistency when we buy that brand. And then there is efficiency. The efficiency generally in terms of production and how efficiently we produce. If you are an organization that can produce a commodity better than or more efficiently than another company, there is a space for you to make slightly more margin and perhaps gain a bigger market share. Which brings me to the next one, which is geography. Generally, commodities, particularly products, and even services, are geography-based in the beginning. And so because of the cost of distribution, our value might actually just be in the fact that we are closer to the market than our competitor. The fourth thing, before I give you something to think about, is economies of scale. That we speak about businesses that grow bigger and bigger, are able to purchase inputs at cheaper prices, are able to amortize their costs over more units and therefore have a cheaper unit cost. And so economies of scale are very important as the business grows in order to make more and more margin. But I want to say one last thing on the subject, which is to weave in value add wherever possible. And we see that, I'll give you two examples. We see that in tuna. Tuna is tuna is tuna. Tin tuna is tin tuna is tin tuna. But you get brands where one brand is 30% more than the other, and that's brand. But what some brands actually do is they add value to that tuna, and they call it Thai tuna, and they add spices to that tuna, and they call it Thai tuna or this tuna or that tuna, and they add value to it to differentiate it. Or they produce it in a different packaging, i.e. an actual packet that you can use if you're going on travel trips and you want to put it in your suitcase instead of taking the tin. You can take it with you and tear it open. That's value add, and you can charge more margin for that. Well, that's it.